Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Welcome to your virus update. I got big news for you guys about the virus. It's on the news, but I think a lot of people are overlooking it. Something that a lot of people are overlooking, and are overlooking the implications of this. Something important. Anyway, I want to talk about something else just for a minute before I get into the virus. I want to talk about Chris Martenson. Now, he has impeccable credentials, and, they have really come down hard on him, uh, academics and stuff, and they basically, he is doing a service to all of us, just like the doctor in China who tried to warn people about the virus, and they tried to clamp down on him. And now he's being held as a hero, but he's very sick. He caught the virus, and he might be dying, or he might be dead. I'm just not exactly sure. There's conflicting reports. Some reports are coming out saying he's died, and other reports are coming out saying that he is still alive, and I'm not exactly sure on his condition. I know his condition is grave. He caught the virus. But he tried to warn the world, And Chris Martenson has been providing a service of, and he knows, because he does have the credentials, but they're trying to, I just personally think it's terrible that what they're doing to him, what they're trying to do to him, I think it's absolutely terrible. I think that he's providing a service for all of us, trying to warn us about a very dangerous virus that's on the loose in the world that threatens the whole entire world. I mean, the virus, if left unchecked, it'll just keep spreading until it runs out of people to spread to. That's the way of the beast. It's a monster. But that being said, really the information that's come from Chris Martenson's site has been very valuable information indeed, and I think that he will be proven to be correct about a lot of the things and a lot of the information. Time is going to show that he is actually more of a hero for what he's done, rather than them trying to vilify him. I think it's absolutely terrible and horrendous. Anyway, that being said, let's get on and let's find out what this new information is about the virus. And I got this information from the mainstream media, but I don't think a lot of people are keying it in and realizing just how important this actually is, this vital piece of information that I'm going to provide to you guys about the virus right now. Okay, so let's get to it. Let's open up the charts right here and take a look at what this is. Now, what I want to point out to you guys is Hong Kong is a hub city. Just like in the old days, you used to have wagon wheels. Well, the hub was the center of the wheel, and all the spokes come into the hub, right? Hong Kong is a hub city. And unlike these Chinese cities that they've blockaded off, they basically don't let anybody in or out of the city, I really can't see them doing that to Hong Kong. Hong Kong is an autonomous region, and I can't see them in any way being able to blockade the city and not let anybody in or anybody out of Hong Kong. So I don't see them being able to do that whatsoever, right? And it's a hub city. People fly in and out of Hong Kong every day. I mean, people moving out of Hong Kong on buses, trains, planes, you name it. This is why this is important. Coronavirus, this is in the South China Morning Post, by the way. It says coronavirus has a community outbreak declared in Hong Kong. Now, what a community outbreak means is, normally with a pathogen like this, what they do is, if one person comes down with it, they track each and every person that person had contact with, and then what they try to do is quarantine all of those people and maybe the person came in contact with 10 different people. They'll go out and they'll find those 10 people, and then they'll ask them who they had contact with, and they try to contain the virus that way by quarantine measures and so on. That's how they normally typically do it. But when you get a community outbreak, what that means is they don't really know the source, and that there's a number of people within the community, and they don't really know who all of those are, who all they have contact with, and it's starting to spread within the general overall population. That's what a community outbreak means. Now, in a city like Hong Kong, where there's an awful lot of densely packed people, this could be really bad. And also, being this it's a hub city, and the people they go everywhere from Hong Kong. They travel a lot. This community outbreak is a big deal in my mind, and I think it's going unnoticed by a lot of other people. Coronavirus community outbreak declared in Hong Kong as government prepares to quarantine mainland Chinese entering the cities and other facilities. So they're going to quarantine from mainland China and the mainland Chinese, but it's had a community outbreak already within the city. In other words, the virus is moving ahead of the people that want to quarantine mainland Chinese entering the city to try to keep the virus out. Evidently, the virus is already in the city. It's already breached the walls. They said they've had several confirmed cases, and it's convinced Professor Yuan Kwok-young of a local human-to-human transmission within the city. So what we're looking at here is it says top microbiologist has declared a community outbreak of the deadly coronavirus in Hong Kong, as government advisors revealed mainland Chinese entering the city would be quarantined in hotels or public facilities under compulsory restrictions taking effect on Saturday. It says the dreaded confirmation of local spread came a day after the government said all travelers from the mainland, including Hong Kong residents, would be placed on mandatory 14-day quarantine as part of its escalated response to the contagion. So they're trying to block the contagion off from getting into Hong Kong, but it looks like it's already there. It's already jumped ahead of them. It's already breached their walls of containment. This is a big deal, guys. This is a big deal. This is a really big deal. And so this looks very bad, the fact that it's already spreading in Hong Kong. It says Professor Yuan Kwok-young, a leading microbiologist and infectious disease expert at the University of Hong Kong, said as many as 21 of the patients he's found to be infected in Hong Kong had not visited the mainland recently. In other words, he's convinced that, I guess that's a picture of him right there. He's convinced it's spreading in Hong Kong because 21 patients were found to be infected in Hong Kong that had not visited the mainland. Now, you think about that for a minute. Those 21 patients, they would be showing symptoms, more than likely, all of them. And that's probably how it got found out that they actually had the virus. But how many, if they've collected 21 patients that they found to be infected, how many out there are asymptomatic right now? Because this virus has an asymptomatic period of up to 14 days in which it takes before they actually come down with it. And how many people will then they come in contact with in Hong Kong, and how do you trace all those people at that point? It looks like we could be on the verge of Hong Kong, the virus being loose in Hong Kong like it is in Wuhan. Except there's a big difference. The Chinese were able to put a wall around, not a literal wall, but a wall around Wuhan to say nobody in or out. but I can't see them being able to do that with Hong Kong. He said he added it was certain local outbreaks had started and human-to-human transmission was taking place within the city. Now, this came from Professor Yuan Kwok Young, a leading microbiologist and infectious disease expert at the University of Hong Kong. He added it was certain local outbreaks had started and human-to-human transmission was taking place within the city. Jung warned every measure must be taken to minimize the spread, including further border closures. 6 people in the city have been diagnosed with coronavirus over the past 2 days, 5 of whom have not left the city recently. Over the 21 cases in total, 8 were believed to have no travel history relevant to the coronavirus. So there we go, guys. This is a milestone that I think is, for the most part, being overlooked because everybody is looking this way and looking that way. They're looking at the cruise ships and they're looking at what's happening, the numbers coming out of China and stuff. And I don't really think that they're actually taking notice of this important event that's happened right here. Believe me, I try to stay on top of stuff, and this to me is big. This is really big. Thank you guys for listening. Give me a thumbs up, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.